Hello everyone. Today I'm bringing you another recipe in my bread making series that I've been doing. I appreciate all the comments that everyone has left, and if you like my YouTube channel, I appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe. Today we're making challah bread. These are our ingredients: 4 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll have another ½ a cup on the side for when you're kneading. You'll have a cup of milk. This could be any type of milk that you want. I use almond milk, but it also can be water. If you want it strictly vegan, it can be. You have 2 teaspoons of yeast. You have 1/4 of a cup of melted butter or oil, or a combination of the both. I like a combination. I put half butter, half oil to reach 1/4 of a cup. 1/3 cup of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/8 cup of honey, 2 eggs. The eggs, you're gonna hold the white from one egg to the side for the end. That's gonna be part of your, when you glaze the bread before you put it in the oven. And a teaspoon of turmeric, which is optional. I like it, I use it. Before we get started, I want to point out about the turmeric. Turmeric is a spice, doesn't really have a flavor, but it makes a golden yellow. A lot of times when you see challahs, some are just an off-white and some are a deep yellow. Most times that's turmeric that makes it that yellow. It's not a bunch of eggs, because eggs is not going to make it that yellow, but it's turmeric, so it's optional. You can use it or not. I like the turmeric, so I put it in. First thing we're going to do is proof our yeast. We're going to take our milk, which is lukewarm, not hot, but lukewarm, and we're going to pour it in our bowl that we're going to be mixing in. We're going to pour in a little bit of the sugar because we want the sugar to help make the yeast proof. It always needs a little sugar in there. We'll mix it around. We'll take our yeast and just sprinkle it over the top. And we're going to sit this yeast to the side for a few minutes and let that proof, 5 to 10 minutes. Now in this bowl, we're going to put our 4 cups of flour. We're going to put our salt. And we're going to put our sugar. We're going to mix all of that up in our flour. And then, as I told you, my turmeric. My 1 tablespoon of turmeric. We'll mix that in the flour, and as you can see, it's yellow, but it's not really that noticeable once you mix it all up in the flour, but once you bake it, it will give it a nice yellow consistency. And if you put a little more, it'll make it more deep in color. So now that we have that mixed, we're going to go back to our yeast. And as you see, the yeast has proof. It's a little foamy. So in that, we're going to add our egg. And we're going to stir it around in there, just slightly. We're going to add our honey. We're going to mix that up in there. And we're going to add our, I like butter and oil mix. I use 3 tablespoons of butter, like when you cut it to the pack, like I showed you, it has the measurements on there. You're going to cut 3, and then once you melt it, you'll add a little oil to bring your cup right up to 1/4 of a cup. So now that this is mixed together, we are going to start to add our flour to it. I like to add the flour on top of this. and to start to mix the flour into our liquid. So we get it mixed, we add a little more, so we have all that flour in there. And as you can see from the batter that how yellow it is, that's coming from the turmeric is coming out. Okay, now we're going to get our half a cup of flour. I'm just going to take it straight from there, and we're going to start putting it down on our board so that we can start to knead this, because it's starting to come together. I add a little flour to my hands, and I'm going to pour my dough right out. Now I'm going to start to knead this bread over and in, over and in. And you're going to knead the bread for about, I want to say from 6 to 8 minutes. It's no longer so sticky. You can knead and nothing's coming off on your hands. I'm going to put it in an oil bowl and let it sit for about an hour, hour and a half. All right, so we're going to take our dough and we're going to put it in our oil bowl. And I just want to turn it around so it get a little oil on it. And then we're going to cover it with a little plastic wrap and sit it by in a warm spot, wherever you choose, and let it sit for an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, our hour and a half is over, and our dough is doubled better in size. We're going to pour this out and beat it back down, and then I'm going to split it in half to make 2 loaves. First loaf is just going to be a loaf of challah, and the second loaf, we're going to jazz it up a little bit and make some chocolate challah. Okay, now in order to roll this out, I'm going to use a little bit of oil instead of flour. Put a little oil on my hands, put a little oil down. And we're going to pour this out. And we just want to beat it back down. Take all the air back out of it. And I just want to divide it. So this is going to be cut, and we're going to do, it's going to be a 4-strand bread. It's going to be a 4-strand bread. So bring them together so the tops kind of cross over each other. The middle one crosses over, and the other middle crosses over. Then the 2 here, I'm going to cross them together. Then you're going to bring these 2 over. Bring that back over that one, this one over that one. The middle 2 cross. You'll bring this over that one, this over that one. And the middle 2 cross. You just try to keep them up together. Back over here. Then the 2 in the center. Back over, 2 in the middle, and you're going to bring all the 4 corners together. And you have your braid. I mixed the cocoa powder with the vanilla, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and 1/4 of a cup of milk. And just made like a chocolate paste. Now, I'm going to take our remaining dough. And with this, I want to cut this in 3. We're going to do this at 3 strand. Okay, so I want to roll this out. Maybe kind of oblong. We're going to spread it out. I'm going to take it all the way to the end. And then we're going to roll it. Because remember, we want to braid this. Let's set that to the side. Take our next piece. It doesn't matter if you have a little chocolate on the board. That's fine. I put a little oil on this. I didn't put it on this one when I did it. And we're going to take a little more chocolate and spread it on this one. Just want to get the chocolate in there. I'm going to roll this one also. Okay, so you want to press this one out too. This is the oil. I don't have enough oil in my bowl. Roll on our rolling pin. It's a little messy, but if we want some of our chocolate to be out, so you can just split it a little bit. And these already have enough chocolate out. We're going to put the 3 ends together and we're just going to braid it. And that's the end. We're going to put this on our baking sheet. We're going to let these sit and rise for about a ½ hour. Okay, and then now I'm going to brush it with an egg wash. This has been 40 minutes. And give it a nice little egg wash, and that's nothing but a few drops of water in that egg white that we helped in the beginning. Okay. So this is going to go in a preheated 360-degree oven. In the middle for approximately 30 to 40 minutes. And now it's the time to cut into these beautiful collars. Some people just like to pull it off, and I want you to see. If I pull the collar, it's a nice soft challah bread. If you like to slice it, you can. You just slice it. I just pulled it. And this is our chocolate challah. Thanks for watching.